Commencing in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to Danny D. DQ Untitled Sports Show. Welcome back to the Danny D and DQ Untitled Sports Show, and we are going to do a segment here that is called the Crowded Backfield. Crowded Backfield. All right, Dan, let's get right into this crowded backfield segment. We got some crowded backfields going on, including one up in Cincinnati with the Bengals. We got Jeremy Hill, who's been starting there for a couple of years now. But then, don't forget about the guy behind him, Gio Bernard. And how about the guy that they just drafted this year, and Joe Mixon? Who do you think gets left out, and who starts? What do you think, Dan?
All right, so we've already had. I've already thought Cincinnati's had a nice backfield with the combination of the Jeremy Hill and the Gio Bernard. They do a really good job of bringing them both in the sub HB packages, and they do a good job going off of each other and staying on an up tempo beat of switching out the running backs. So then it kind of surprises me that they go and get Joe Mixon, because I don't know how Joe Mixon fits into this whole three-way move. So. Because I understand that there will be a number one, and then the number two is going to get lots of carries as well, because that's what the NFL has turned into nowadays, as you know, DQ. But one of these guys is going to get left out. So the guy that I think is getting left out is probably going to be Joe Mixon, because he's still got some stuff to prove, a lot of off-field issues. But I'll have to go Jeremy Hill as the starter.
I disagree with you, Dan. I don't think Joe Mixon gets left out. I don't see why they draft the kid and then leave him out. And to be honest with you, I know you're saying that this is what this league has turned into, but to be honest, I think this league has evolved even further than that into not only just having a starter and then rotating him with a backup, but having two rotational guys. For example, I mean, granted, back then he was very injured prone, but Adrian Peterson, when he was getting injured, but he still was playing a little bit, he had Matt Asiata and Jerick McKinnon behind him. So that's just one example of it. I think they'll use all three, but if any of them are going to get underutilized and used the least, I think it's Gio Bernard, because... Yeah, because I mean they've rotated decently, but I think Gio Bernard is mediocre.
You think Joe Mixon over Gio Bernard? Huh?
Why would they have drafted him?
I think Gio Bernard is a solid back. To your point of the Minnesota thing, is because you don't have a solid second back like a Gio Bernard on Minnesota. That's why you're switching in Asiata and a McKinnon.
Yeah,
but with a Jeremy
Mixon.
Hill and a Gio Bernard, with their combination of back running, I liked it well. But now, I understand where you're coming from. Now, I can see maybe they don't believe in Gio Bernard. I think Gio Bernard's probably going to be one of the ones to be on the way out. So leave him out. All right. So what about this one's even better. So not even a three running back situation in this crowded backfield. We have the New England Patriots with four. We got Deion Lewis and James White coming back from the Super Bowl champion Patriots. They're coming back for their their respected positions. And they also did a 6-round 10. They picked up Mike Gillislee from Buffalo, as you might know him. You might have heard of him. And Rex Burkhead, who used to be a Cincinnati.
I read news today, actually, that they're looking to get another running back, a big running back to replace the hole that LeGarrette Blount LeGarrette Blunt left. In their backfield. So imagine that, Dan. 5-way competition. They want a 5-way competition. So Who starts?
Who starts? Who starts left out? You tell me who starts?
All right.
Who gets left out?
All right, ready for this? All of them start. None of them get left out. The Patriots. What I saw last year was the Patriots use 4 different running backs. Actually, you're mistaken, Dan, because there's actually 5 running backs on their team right now. They forgot Brandon Bolden.
Oh, Brandon Bolden, the special teams.
And they want to bring in another running back. They want to get a 6-way competition going on up in fucking Foxborough. And let me tell you this, Dan, they're gonna use every single one of those motherfuckers. Some games, one's gonna be used more than the other. That's what they did last year. Last year, a lot of those games turned out to be a game that they used Blunt a lot. But some games they used Deion Lewis specifically. Some games they used James White. He ended up getting a lot of the...
You wouldn't put it past the Patriots to say that at least 4, or even if they had 4 to 5 guys could each get a carry in every game?
No. What I'm saying is, by the end of the year, all five, and if they pick up another guy, six of these motherfuckers will have over 100 yards rushing and at least double digit numbered carries. That's
Well,
that's what I'm saying. At least 10 or more carries, like at least that's like a game. You know what I mean? From
who starts week one? Who starts week one in New England?
who
Who gets first
starts
carry? Who's going to be behind Tom when he probably play actions
the
and throws
guy
a
who won them
touchdown?
the Super Bowl, James White.
James White.
Yeah,
All
and
right.
then they'll throw in Dion Lewis. They'll give him some carries when James White needs to come out, and then when Dion Lewis needs a breather, they'll throw back in James White. But then the next time James White needs to come out, they'll probably throw out Gillisley. See what this guy brings to the table.
All right.
Gillisley might break one out, get a big run touchdown. Then maybe come week two, they start Mike Gillisley.
I think what I say. I think the week one, the starter who's going to be out there first. I think the same way as you is that it's going to be this flopping of the James White, Dion Lewis, James White, Dion Lewis first for a couple of drives at least. But I would say Dion Lewis comes out first. Dion Lewis starts it. And I think if somebody has to get left behind, I think it's going to be Gillisley because I do hear a lot of good things about Rex Burkhead out of there, and they like a lot about Rex Burkhead. He can catch very efficiently out of the backfield. So I think they're going to use a lot of a Rex Burkhead and then Dion Lewis and James White, as you've seen last year. They a lot of good back and forth with them. I think Gillisley, if anybody gets left out, God forbid an injury, I think Gillisley steps in, obviously, but I could see Gillisley being left out of the pack.
All right, so we're gonna move over from the AFC East all the way to the other side to the West, and we got another crowded backfield
Crowded backfield.
going on down at the Arrowhead practice facility. All right, Spencer Ware, Jacandrick West, Kareem Hunt. Uh, I don't know, Dan. What do you think? Who starts? Who gets left out? Ware, West, Hunt.
All right, so obviously the big gap from, well, not really because Jamal got hurt last year, but trying to fill a Jamal Charles's shoes in KC, I don't think any of these guys can. I have a lot of, I think Kareem Hunt. I like this guy. He's a rookie. I think he can come out because I don't really think Spencer Ware or Chandrick West are really that great at their positions that they can't be beaten out at training camp. I think if Kareem Hunt works hard, he makes all the plays that he needs to do during a couple preseason games. I wouldn't be surprised if Kareem Hunt came out being the starter. But I think if I had to bet money, if I was a betting kind of man, I would say the one that makes the start would probably be Spencer Ware. I think out of Chandrick West and Spencer Ware, I think Spencer's a little better. And I do really think highly of Kareem Hunt. I think he'll step up and be a good guy. So I think who gets left out is the one I didn't bring up, and that'd be Chandrick West. What's your opinion on this, DQ?
I gotta agree with the Spencer Ware starting week one. I think he showed a lot of flair and from the starts that he had this past couple seasons, and to be honest with you, I think he rotated very well with Charkandrick West, and I could see that continuing. And then once again, kind of just like the Bengals backfield, I feel like this kid Kareem Hunt will be utilized too, just like Joe Mixon. Yeah, they might not see the field often, like maybe, you know, 20% of the time out of all of Kansas City's offensive snaps throughout the entire season. Speaking of the rookies, Joe Mixon and the Bengals and Kareem Hunt on the Kansas City Chiefs. But my point is, I think all three of these running backs will see the field. I don't think any of them particularly gets left out, but if I gotta say one that gets the least out of all of them, I gotta go with the rookie and Kareem Hunt. Just until maybe in a year or two when one of these other guys hits the road, or even maybe sooner than that if they decide to cut one of them.